Welcome back to Expediting Change. I appreciate all the love I've been getting on the podcast. For me, Expediting Change in this podcast was really art for me. It was just me putting information out in the air, and the overwhelming response that I got was completely love. I sincerely appreciate it, and I'm going to continue doing it because we want equity now.
The game is in trouble. I've been in my depth for the piece of the puzzle. I got it for real. Still keep me going. I wake up and hustle. You won't see me buckle. I've been in the field.
Welcome to Expediting Change live at CIAA 2025. We are honored and blessed. We go from CBC to CIAA. So we are here ready to rock. I am your host, Shomari James. You know we get it in on Expediting Change. I have my guy here, Mr. Fred Whitaker. We going to chop it up about all the great things that he's doing, but he got a mouthpiece. He going to tell you and introduce himself to you.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Fred Whitaker. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm an author. I have a book series called Come On a Journey With Me that I do with my two daughters. I'm a television producer. I have a TV show called HBCU 101 that I executive produce. I also work with talent management. I just have my hands in a plethora of different things, just, trying to have more than one stream of income coming in.
How many you want? What's the goal? How many?
How many can I get?
I heard that,
I don't want to put myself in a box. I want to think outside of the box.
Destroy the box and give me that bread.
Absolutely.
I respect it. Listen, man, author is so dope, man. Taking a look at the book and everything that you're doing. What are you most proud of?
I'm most proud of having the conversations with my daughter, coming up with an idea, and then making it come into fruition. So it was one of those things where it was like, hey, guys, how do y'all feel about doing a children's book series? And they said, we would love to do that. I said, well, what are your thoughts? And so they gave me their thoughts. So then I just held myself accountable. I put it in the universe, and then we went out there. And then the day that I got the first author's edition, I showed it to them. And to see Journey and Bradley face lit up, I was like, oh, this is a moment for me. Like, that's all I cared about was to see them excited. And then we did 3 more books after that. So we did a total of 4 different books. So we created a whole series.
Nice. Now, we going to be on time. So, you know what I mean? You got to make sure you tell them where we can pick the book up right now. Let's get that.
You can go to our website, comeonajourney.com. And that's Journey spelled Journee. Is a play off of her name. So
absolutely. That's
that
dope.
book is named after her.
Absolutely dope. You said that's one stream of his income. So go pick that book up. You heard it here on Expediting Change. So on Expediting Change, we talk about financial education. We talk about the positive progression of the culture. And we're talking about make sure a rising tide raises all ships. So talk to me. How do you believe that you're expediting change for the culture?
I think I'm expediting change by the culture by just, thinking outside of the box and going after your dreams, man, once you put it out there. But I also do the research. I look into the market. I do a lot of reading. I like to say I like to go on YouTube University, and when I want to figure out how to, diverse my portfolio, I just type that in YouTube, and it just pulls things up, and I just take my little notepad and my pen, and I just start writing different things down, and then just building from there.
Absolutely, that's fire. And then how do you exponentially get that information out to the people, to the masses, so then they can do the same thing?
I think it starts within your circle, man. I think it starts within your friends and your peers, and it's you guys. What's the saying? Still sharp as steel. So it's just having those conversations with them. And even though it's not, put out there to the mass of people, I think by having that conversation with one person to the next person will end up spreading out to the masses. Because I might say it to you, then you might say it to somebody else. They might say it to somebody else. And it's organically done that way, but it's coming from a genuine place.
Yo, each one teach 10
teach
now.
one.
You know what I mean? We got a place right now where it's each one teach 10. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Gotta love it. So your journey, talk to me about where you're from and your journey. I know you're from Brooklyn, but
originally from Brooklyn, New York. I ended up moving down to North Carolina to finish high school, and then I ended up going to college in North Carolina. I originally started at Elizabeth City, which is a CIAA school, but then I ended up transferring to A&T. When I transferred to A&T, I met my best friend, who's also my line brother, Terrence J., which just changed my life. We started, at 106 and Park. Then we did movies. We did all these other things. But as I progressed in my career, people used to say to me all the time, Fred, you need to tell your story because everybody can't be in front of the camera.
Absolutely.
And there are people that are behind the scenes that could be just as impactful as the people that are in front of the camera. So once I started telling my story, people want to hear more and more and more about it. Because like I always say to people, everybody can't be LeBron James, but you can have multiple people behind LeBron James helping him accomplish the goals and, to your point, the 7 streams of income that he's trying to get. So that's my story.
Let's pull on that thread a little bit more, because individuals say your network is your net worth, right? So talk about that. When you met Terrence J and the relationships that you built and the individuals that you keep in your circle to make sure that everybody is rising.
For me, I say to people all the time, like, I do more business and make more money with the people I went to college with over the last 20 years ago because of the relationships that I've built throughout the years. Like,
no, we got to pause on that, because we got to underscore that, right? We got to underscore that, because it's not just about pushing your kids out of high school to go get that degree in college.
Absolutely.
It's also about that network.
Absolutely.
It's also about who you meet.
Absolutely.
And the people that you're going to rock with for the next 10, 20 years. Go ahead. I cut you off. Go on with that.
Good, brother. It's your show, man. I'm just happy to be a guest.
It's our show, man. It's our show, man.
Like I said, I have the relationship over the last 20 years where we all came into this business together and we want to help each other grow. So instead of, I remember first getting in business, they were like, oh, you got to reach up. You got to, reach above you and reach out, and hopefully they return your call. Then it started looking around like, well, why not just build with the people that's beside me and we go on this grind together and we knock down the doors together. So network is everything, man. Relationships is everything. Like, for me, I put more emphasis on my relationships than any dollar amount that you could try to pay me, because my friendship and my relationships has gotten me this far. No matter what I'm doing, like I posted, I was coming here this morning, and people was like, hey, where you gonna be? Where you gonna be? Where you gonna be? And I'm like, I didn't even know y'all was in town. No, all relationships.
So what would you say to a young aspiring entrepreneur? Like, if you had to give them 3 things, what would those 3 things be from your journey?
From my journey, the first thing I always say is you get what you negotiate. Like, you get what you negotiate. You can't feel some type of way about a deal and you went into that deal and you negotiated the deal that you have. The second thing I would say is don't take your losses as a loss. Take it as a learning experience. You learn from your mistakes. You might make instead of going left, you went right. But instead of beating yourself up about that, you learn from that mistake, because that's not the end all be all. There's going to be so many more opportunities. And the last thing I would say is, man, enjoy this journey, man. It's a fun ride. But live in the moment. I just recently started living in the moment a lot more, because I talk more about my journey and the things that I'm doing. But back then, I would just be focusing up on what's the next opportunity, what's the next goal, and not sitting
on your grind.
Yeah, not sitting there like, oh my God, we just produced a movie. Oh my God, we're going to Japan. Oh, we're going to Africa. Like, what's the next opportunity? What's the next opportunity? Instead of just taking it all in and just living in that moment, because these moments, help create you and also help push you to the next opportunity, next idea that you want to do. And don't take none of this for granted, man, because it can all be taken away from you. Just like that.
At any point. I love that, Fred. Man, listen, this is Expediting Change. You heard us spit. You heard Fred go. I absolutely love it. Listen, the answer to the question that you do not ask is always no. Always. So put it out there and know and understand the deals that you're doing. Still sharpens steel, as my man Fred said. So get around, because your network is your net worth, and your net worth could be your network. This is Shomari James on the Expediting Change podcast for the positive progression of the culture. We're going to keep this thing pushing, because nobody is coming to save us. Let's go.